What's going on, y'all? I'm Marcusbgaming, and here's a quick vid on how to get the Dead Man's Tale Exotic Scout Rifle in Season of the Chosen. If this vid helps you out, please show some love to the sub and bell buttons. Let's go! Dead Man's is the new hotness when it comes to exotic scouts. It's special because of his cranial spike trait. You get more damage and a faster reload for rapid precision hits. Oh, and this baby is a random roll exotic like Hawkmoon. To get random rolls, you repeat the mission for this one weekly just like Hawkmoon. To get it, start up the Arms Dealer Strike on the EDZ. Doesn't have to be a Nightfall. And make the first right, kill the Cabal at the end and pick up the distress signal. You take this over to Mr. Sexy Voice in the tower, and now if you go over to the Tangled Shore, there's a quest in the top left corner, Presage. You'll start outside, and you want to jump left and jump along this path I'm showing you. When you get to this hatch, find vents to shoot and crawl through to make your way to the other side of that big door in the beginning.
Like ripples meeting in conversation. Executing trace. Stand by.
Flip the switch and now you can go through this door. To get through these barriers, you gotta hit the spores with an ability or melee from a light subclass. Then jump in and crawl through some vents.
There's no light here.
You'll get to this part where you have to go to your right to hit a switch that opens up a small door with another spore to the left outside of that opening. Hit those melees and hurry up and jump across to make it through the darkness barrier. You got more vents and switches to hit now, so you can shoot the fuse on this column to open up a door panel that you have to jump across to. You'll drop down and to the right, you want to jump up and flip a switch, and then go back to the opposite room and go through. In this room, you'll jump across, flip another switch, then go back to the previous room, and under where you flip that switch, there's a fuse for you to shoot. Shoot that, jump back up, go through, and now drop down and slide down into the next room. When you get down here, you'll flip a switch at the end and hurry to shoot the vents and find the fuse underneath before you get crushed. And you'll have some pissed off screebs after you. Hit these 3 fuses and jump down the hatch with the red lights around it like your first name is Sonic, last name Hedgehog. Here you have a big old fight with some Scorn. Then after that, make your way through some other red rooms and you'll end up in an even bigger fight with some Scorn. A lot of lantern holders, heretics, and 2 abominations. Screeps will also spawn in regularly, so be careful. I would stick to the higher middle level or the edges of the room for cover. I think ranged weapons are definitely a good move. Rocket launchers, grenade launchers, a hand cannon, auto or scout. Once you knock them all out, jump outside and around to get to this ship. Jump on top of it and up to this opening. It'll bring you to this room where on the left, you flip a switch to expose another spore, melee it, and run to the other end of the room. You'll end up in a 2-floor room where you flip a switch to open a door to expose a fuse. Stand below the electric barrier in the middle of the room so you can blow the fuse from a distance and jump up. You'll flip 2 switches and open up a door near that fuse. Hit the spores and run to the opposite end of the room and jump up and go through quick. You'll end up in a room with more scorn. Flip the switch and go to the door you just opened. Careful with the turret. Shoot the fuse to the right of it to open up another spore, and you know what to do. After you drop down, you'll be in some vents with screeds. You gotta find the spore and the way out. The easy way is to look for the vent with the light behind it, and that's the spore. The exit is to the left up the hallway when leaving the spore. Flip this switch and now you're back in that big room where you can hit this spore again and go through the barrier that's open now across from it. In the next room you got more scorn and then a switch in the back left corner. Hit it and the vent opens up next to the switch. You shoot the fuse to open up the spore room on the opposite end of the room. Smack and run towards the back right of the room and you're in the next area. Here it gets a little jumpy. First clear the enemies and then shoot a fuse down low and flip a switch on the other end to open up a second spore room. The first spore is where you came in. You have to slap and jump to the second spore and slap that one to extend the timer so you can get to the exit like this. The next room has a banner spot that ain't worked for me. Then it's the last boss fight. The way this works is, do damage to the boss, he'll disappear to the lower level of the room. That level is on fire down there, so to go down there for a damage phase and not get toasted, clear the room and hit these 3 switches first. Then drop down to do damage until you take away a third of its health. As soon as you take that third away, be ready to jump up one of the 3 holes back up in the upper levels and repeat. You'll have chieftains with solar shields and smaller enemies up top like screeds and the lantern holders, and arc shield chieftains and smaller enemies down low with the boss. Keep your distance from him and watch its floor fire attack. And a little tip is you can jump back up during the damage phase if you want to be real sneaky, and go drop down on the opposite end to get in some easy shots from range and repeat. You will have some more enemies pop up though, but that's all good, that was the easier way to me. Finish him off, pick up the gun in the next room, and go talk to Zavala. Congrats, it's all yours. I hope this vid helped, and if it did, likes, shares, and subs really help out the channel. I'm out.